County, Calhoun County, Clay, and also down into Randolph County. And of course, the tornado warning that is in effect, confirmed tornado, as we zoom back in down into Coosa County. We'll go back into our velocity mode there, and you can see that's where it is wound up pretty tightly as that storm tracks toward the Weguffga area. It's just to the north there of Hillwood. And the reason it's a confirmed tornado, you can see we actually have a debris signature showing up right there to the north of the Hillwood area. So strong storm and lots of gusty winds, and then that one component of that storm that is producing the tornado right now. So Gold Branch, Weguffga, Stewartville, Lake Joy, all areas we need to make sure you are taking cover. And Wes, I think going into Talladega County, maybe even Clay County, the northwestern part of Clay County, we could be looking at this tornado warning extended as far north as that. Hopefully, as it encounters a little bit more stable air, we'll start to see some weakening.
Yeah, this area is just sort of untapped territory all day long, and we've had that instability building to the south, JP. As we zoom out, I know you're showing the big picture here. Look at all this rain around Sylacauga. Sylacauga, we are fine right now, but we're going to keep a close eye on what's happening with this to the south. The severe thunderstorm warnings further north. Let's go, JP, to Anniston, and I want to check in. I don't want anything to sneak up on us here around.
By the way, 3.9 inches of rain right there around the Sylacauga area already.
Well, you're going to have some impactful weather. Look at all the rain, that swath from all those heavy storms there to the south. Flash flooding an issue still. We said, multiple modes of severe weather with this particular system, but Cleburne County, Heflin North, heavy rainfall. This has now crossed over Highway 10, so most of the heaviest of the rain has now moved out of Anniston. Jacksonville, threat is winding down for us. Piedmont, Cherokee County, we're in good shape. Gadsden. I know we haven't talked about Gadsden a lot today, and if you're wondering, well, he never talks about Gadsden. Listen, we're in good shape. This has stayed to the south of us. We're watching that area closely.
We always jokingly said, if the weather people aren't talking about your town, that's a great thing.
On a day like today.
Yeah, when they're talking about your town, you don't want them talking, because we're focusing in on the problem areas.
Exactly. We like to, we want to mostly give you the good news when we're giving you the weather there coming up for a lot of locations out there. But tonight, really what we're seeing to the far south and east, that's where this threat is really starting to wind down. Most of us, we're starting to clear away some of these counties to the north. Coleman, Blount County, threat's over. Great news there. Etowah County, we're in fine shape, and very soon it looks like this is all about to clear out of Anniston. I know we still have a warning in effect south of Jacksonville. Stay in that shelter. It's raining heavily, gusty winds impacting Heflin. It's pouring out here on I-22. So outside of Anniston and Oxford, all these areas here, some intense rainfall, some gusty winds. So some heavy duty impacts here for folks out on the roads especially. And you may just want to stay put until this passes. The rain's got to be just blinding out here right now. Very rough driving conditions. But heavy rain into northern, that severe thunderstorm warning's over Mount Cheaha, and also for our friends around Delta. So here's Ashland. Looks like a little break in the weather, and then we're watching right here, confirmed tornado. What does this look like compared to Rockford? Is this thing just north of Rockford?
Let's get in a little closer.
Yeah, let's get in here and check this out, because Goodwater, I can see Goodwater and Hatchet. There's Highway 280. So here's Highway 280. Here's the tornado. It's near Bentleyville. You mentioned Weguffga. We gave you the first alert. This has passed Quincy. It's passing Hillwood right now just to the north, and it's now approaching Weguffga. You just got some of those stronger winds. JP's putting some arrival times. If this holds together, it's raining quite heavily to the north. That should hold off a lot of this instability. It's going to most likely stay on this east-northeast track here. There's 10 o'clock. This is approaching the Clay County line. So if you are watching around Brownsville, Stewartville, especially over towards Hatchet along the 280 corridor, let's wait on this to pass before we leave our shelter, of course. But even before if you were listening to me on the radio, don't drive towards this warning. That's about to includes Highway 280, but about to move across Coosa County and off to the northeast direction. But heavy rainfall. You can see indications of some large hail, a lot of wind with this. But the strongest tornadic indications, the one JP's got pointed right there south of Weguffga around 10 o'clock. That's going to put this in closer to Hollins. There it is. right there, and all this wind that may try to start to cycle through again before we get this completely out of our coverage area. But at the moment, this is a Coosa County concern. We're getting in here really close. And look at some of these roads here. New Site Road. If you're familiar with New Site Road, it's almost to your location. Stand by. We'll let you know once this passes. This is getting close here, so we're going to wait on this to pass with you. Even though we're seeing the circulation there on the radar. Lauren, is that the debris signature that you have pulled up? And JP, I'll come right back to you, but Lauren has this pulled up south of Weogufka. That's 946. So these are current debris signatures. So we have confirmed tornado. You can see there on the screen, that's when it passed just south of Weogufka. So it's moving in this direction right there. There's Highway 2. There's 280. Let's go back to radar, and we'll back the view out. There's Stewartville, 280. There's Hanover, 231. Bentleyville, Rockford. Rockford, it looks just like it's going to be just north of us. I mentioned around Highway 22, 22 over in Clanton that the threat, we've had reports of some damage over around Maplesville, but you can see all this has now passed Clanton, okay? This is to the east. So the Clanton area, this is this another confirmed warming? I guess that's the old confirmed
That's the old
warming.
one.
Okay, so this just kind of between two polygons here drawn up.
In fact, just to help you along here, that's what we're concerned about right there.
Golf ball size hail reported in Verbena, according to Kyle King, one of our weather watchers. Justin Gentry, our weather watcher, reported a 51 mile per hour wind gust. John King reporting over 2 inches of rain in Alabaster. Justin Gentry over 3 inches of rain in Jemison so far. So pouring rain out there with these systems. Travis Braden said, so a lot of power poles there. He's also reporting in around Calera. Said a lot of the power poles at the Publix there in Calera, a lot of those have snapped off and damaged near the Chick-fil-A. A lot of areas there seeing reports of some damage, and there was an entrapment, it looked like in a vehicle on I-65 south of exit 231. No injury reported there. And behind Crackle Barrel at Calera, some damage reported by Brian Falls. So still a lot of those reports from Calera coming in. Of course, a lot of businesses there right off the interstate. A lot of folks very busy. We saw a lot of people on the interstate tonight through that area, right where that tornado crossed. But this is still very impressive signature right now. I mean, these storms just continue to produce. This is Weogufka, just south of you. This is wrapping up right there. Still could have a tornado, and that is approaching Mount Olive, moving in the direction of, first off, 231. It's going to cross just north of Rockford between Stewartville and Rockford, and then it's going to be crossing around Mount Olive. There's Parkdale, Hollins, Midway, anywhere from Midway, Hollins, just south if you are along Highway 280, giving you the first alert. Here it is, moving from southwest to northeast. So 231 to Highway 280, a first alert for another significant tornado risk here as this moves to the north and east direction. Coosa County under a tornado warning. Several counties have been trimmed away. Lauren, I want to jump back over to your computer and see what the watches look like across the state, just the watches and the warnings, so folks can get caught up on what we're seeing with the advisories. And I know it's been such a highly advertised event here coming up today, and it's certainly been a significant severe weather event across Alabama. A lot of confirmed tornadoes today and tonight, but the threat has ended for several counties, even though far southern Shelby County is still included in this warning. The most significant part of this storm has passed even further south, so hopefully soon we're able to drop both Bibb and Shelby counties. But you'll notice all of West Alabama, most of West Alabama, all the way from Jasper, severe threat over. North Alabama, it's ended. Birmingham North, it has ended. And for Gadsden, it has ended. So this came through. We saw most of our tornado warnings and damage to the north to the west, and then it sort of skipped Birmingham and parts of Shelby County and all redeveloped here in areas to the south. Well, it didn't skip Shelby County. We had some damage around Calera, but northern Shelby County to Jefferson County and points north. It's cycled through again tonight. That's been sort of the term of the day, these storms ramping up, weakening, falling apart, and then developing again. Long track storms. This is what you deal with on days like this. You see a storm, it produces a tornado, it goes away, and about 10 scans later, here we go. We have another warning that is developing.
That's looking a little better in Coosa County. It's still there, but some improvement, Wes.
It's all about to wrap up.
If you go to
it's looking a lot better area.
Look at the velocity. Go to.
Oh, let me go back.
There you go.
Okay, I'm sorry, I was on the wrong source. Okay, so that does look like a more uniform, you see?
Yeah.
Listen, all of you watching us here at home, you've been with us all day long. I mean, you know what to look for now when we're tracking these storms. We've sort of it's been like weather in the classroom here today as well, with respect to some of the radar data, because we've been seeing it really showing up on this radar data. You can see those tornadoes when they start to pop up, and you can tell how this has really become more elongated, and we're not seeing. Just loop it back, JP, and we'll show you kind of what we look for when we look for a tornado in the velocity data. There it is. See right there? And you can really tell when you loop things along. Now let's just bring it back into this direction, and you'll see in the data. Look at that. Isn't that incredible? The remote sensing there, the radar that picks up the possibility of it and gives us that warning. And there it is, Stewartville to Hanover. If it's still there, it's going to be crossing right here along 231. That's just south of Stewartville. And this is clearly well out of, I just again want to reiterate, if you were in Chilton County, this is out of Chilton County. This is a Coosa County storm, and this is south of Stewartville. This has passed Weogufka. This is around Weogufka Creek, Coosa County Road 74. So Coosa County Road 74, Coosa Cedars Lane. If you're watching me around Coosa Cedars Lane, that's about where this is crossing there on 231. Coosa Cedars Lane, and it looks like Premier Electric, Coosa County Road 53, Ham Road, Sunnyside Circle. I'm just naming some areas. I want to make sure all of you know where this is located and how close it is to where you are, and let you know that it looks as though it has weakened a little bit on the last few scans, so that is a good sign. Just stay in that safe place here, and we will give you the all clear once the warning has ended. A little spike. You notice that latest scan right there, JP. You see that?
I see it.
So we still have inbound, outbound winds, and it's still showing up, but it's now about to make its way across Highway 231. Sylacauga, this is staying south of us. So Sylacauga is at the top of the screen. Again, there's Stewartville. This is passing to the south. This is moving towards Brownsville in this direction. So hopefully it starts to look more like this with the next few scans. We don't want to see this starting to ramp up, even though it's still a confirmed tornado warning, and we'll be able to drop more of these warnings back to the west. Megan stopping by, and Megan's been going all day. She's made it back in the First Alert Storm Tracker, and we certainly thank Megan for all the incredible work that she's done today, and just all of the contributions from our weather team. And I just want to mention also Brody Wesson, future meteorologist that's helping us out here in the First Alert Weather Center and helping bring up some of these reports. And when you've heard me mention Brody's name a few times, I just want to make mention we have a great support staff here at WBRC, and just want to thank all of our TMP operations and folks in the back that have been doing an incredible job here throughout this First Alert Weather Day event and tracking these storms. And at the moment, we're still going to stay here with you as we approach 9:55. And Lauren, JP, I believe we said midnight, right, for an end time for this. So I believe we said midnight. So we're getting close. And to the south, look what's going on, JP. So, we mentioned to the south it would happen right there.
Look at this.
Here we go. Starting to cycle through it. Just tornado forms, falls apart. You watch to the south. Here it goes again. Starts to develop. So this might clip the southern part of Coosa County. This is the next in line. So the way we see it right now, this tornado has weakened to the north. Listen, stay in place we want to be extra careful, extra safe at a time like this. There's going to be some possibility, some strong damaging winds with this. If you're in this tornado warning, this confirmed tornado warning that's approaching Goodwater, if you're in this area crossing 231, actually, it should be almost past 231. Very soon it will pass once those wind speeds back off. The gust front has passed. The severe threat for you will be winding down. That's almost made it into the northeast part of Coosa County, but we're not seeing that very strong evidence of a tornado in the radar data.
I don't think, per NWS chat, that the Weather Service is going to continue that tornado warning. I think it's going to be a severe thunderstorm warning.
Okay, good. So we're going to see, I mean, that's all linear. It's lined up. It's more of a straight line wind, as you can see. But this is trying to rotate right here. Those winds, they're moving in different directions. That's crossing I-65, and that's, you know, is it just north of Prattville, Pine Level. You know, you pass on the interstate, the lake with the big water wheel out there off the interstate. So that's right there around Pine Level. That's where this is crossing. This is just outside of Verbena, between Verbena and Montgomery. But this could be another developing tornado right here. We have a severe thunderstorm warning, and as we've been saying, treat these severe thunderstorm warnings as first alerts for tornado warnings in many cases today. This is one of those. We could see this upgraded at any moment as it approaches. We're giving you the first alert. If you are watching in the southern part of Coosa County, this is next in line. Hopefully soon, we're going to see this warning to the north replaced with a severe thunderstorm warning. That threat has really lessened as far as a tornado. Still can have some strong winds out of this, but northern Coosa County, where we got the confirmed warning, just want to show you here, you can see we're not seeing the strong evidence of a tornado that we saw earlier. But next in line is this little area to the south along I-65, that's south of Verbena, and down into Otago County. That's going to be tracking that's going to clip our far southeast part of Coosa County if it does generate a tornado warning. Let's see what happens. The circulation is still rather broad. Let's check the next few scans. We're just giving you the first alert in case. Be ready. This might be upgraded to a tornado warning, perhaps, if this does intensify. And also down the road here, this is one Alexander City needs to watch. Here's Lake Martin. From Dadeville to Lake Martin, let's keep a close eye on this. And it's getting late here, so you might want to call, text, let folks know around Alexander City by 10:39, we could have another tornado-warned storm that tracks in this direction. It seems like it's really starting to rotate here to the south. Kellington, south of Goodwater, areas from Kellington, our weather watcher Chris Mann's down in this area. I know he'll be sending us some reports on what the weather conditions are like. Nicksburg, that's another location here to the south. If you're in any of those locations, if you're thinking about when will this all end, when can I go to bed, when will the severe weather threat be over, just stand by here another 30 minutes. Let's let this pass on by, 30 to 40 minutes.
Tornado warning canceled for Coosa.
Okay, so that's good news. So we can take away northern Coosa County, and as you noted, JP, we're going to severe thunderstorm warning, and there it is, and that does include Clay County. So a lot of lightning, some heavy rain, gusty winds. We're maintaining a severe thunderstorm warning at this time, but there are 1, 2, 3 areas. I'm almost certain this is still going to be a concern as this carries over into Georgia. Of course, it's going to move out of our coverage area, but it's going to be a long night as this all continues to press on to the east. So for folks there over into parts of Georgia and down towards Columbus and Auburn, got to pay attention to what's happening here to the south as this just continues to generate circulations. But at this point, Coosa County, the tornado warning, if you're watching me, you've been in your safe place, Rockford, north, towards Hanover, areas from Sylacauga. The tornado warning is over. So we do have a live look at... Okay, so this is the mobile home park in Calera that you're seeing some of the live images coming in. Oh my goodness. We've got some major damage, and look at that mobile home. And we're seeing a lot of this in parts of the area here. This is in Calera, and just praying that everyone is okay, everyone got to safety. You can see debris scattered. This is in Shelby County for folks just now tuning in and joining us. This is in Calera. This is where we had the tornado that touched down near Shelby County Airport earlier this evening. More of those scenes coming in tonight. Aftermath of this just high-risk day. I mean, every time you see a high-risk, level 5 out of 5, sadly, it just seems like we can't get past it, JP, even though all the rain that we were seeing out there today. Earlier today, and are we looking at the same location? So same location, look at this. This is in Shelby County. Major damage here, and a mobile home park, a lot, it's just it looks like every home there, just significant damage, and just prayers for everyone there right now. Hopefully everyone got out. You can see just down the street, just all the first response happening. And on top of that, just keep in mind, you know, there's rescues, there's response happening in a lot of these areas, and since that point, we've been so busy, you know, we've been tracking more tornadoes and more severe storms that have followed this, that have moved through the area, and they're out there in the elements, you know, trying to pull folks and help folks get out of debris and get to a safe place. And
remember Winterboro High School you were talking about?
Right.
Getting word, it's not confirmed yet, but getting some word that a school bus actually landed on top of the gym there at the high school tonight. And that's right where you were tracking that storm earlier.
Wow.
So that would coincide with what we were talking about. We don't have any
I
pictures of this yet, but
if that verifies, and the last time, if I recall, last time I saw a picture on top of a school, it was in Smithville, Mississippi, April 27, 2011.
Yeah.
I saw a tornado lifted a bus on top of a school there in Smithville. We were at the NWA conference, and you see Lauren still with us too, and Lauren, I know you're tracking storms. We're looking at this storm from every angle. I mean, we've got it covered. You've got the velocity data, the debris tracker. It seems like every time we see a tornado debris signature pops up with one of those.
And you know, a lot of questions we're getting on social media. And just to let you know, folks west of Interstate 65, largely with just a few exceptions, you can go ahead and go to bed. You don't have to worry about this if you're in Jasper or Tuscaloosa. Now in Perry County, we still have a few cells there, and also southern portions of Shelby County. I doubt we'll see much out of that, but still we'll continue to watch those. Largely East Alabama, we still need to keep an eye on. These are severe thunderstorm warnings, but we've got enough shear in the atmosphere that any one of these particular warnings could turn into a tornado warning with some rotation there. So just keep that in mind. We've probably got another hour or so before we can give the majority of the viewing area an all clear, but Pelham, Calera, Birmingham, of course, northward and back to the west, all clear, looking good. Even Gadsden, we haven't talked much about you in Gadsden today because it's really been pretty quiet in terms of any kind of severe weather, just a lot of rain. So that's what we have right now. It's starting to wind down. It's not over with yet, but we're certainly heading into a positive direction.
So Chris Mann, just checking in about Coosa County, just reported in. So right now, do we have a tornado warning for Coosa County?
No tornado warning for Coosa County.
Okay, so no tornado warning for Coosa County at this time. So that's according to the National Weather Service.
We've got the three. We've got those 3 polygons there, or really 4. There's one in the Cherokee County for severe thunderstorm warnings.
So this is really starting for most of the area, as JP noted. It's winding down. Far southeastern areas, we've got this final tail end of the system. It's going to clip. It's moving through Clay County and Coosa County, and once it moves through those 2 counties, it's in the Montgomery market. We'll keep an eye on this as it approaches Alexander City, but this is going to be close to 11 o'clock, midnight. I mean, right on time, but the good news is we'll get this out of here for most of the area already. Get some rest for the rest of the coverage area. If you are not in the severe thunderstorm warned parts of this map, it's over for you.
Shelby's removed from the watch now, Shelby County.
So Shelby County is removed. So it's just this limited area to the southeast, but we cover you just like we cover the far northwest corner. We're going to stay right here with you until this moves out of the state. This is still very dangerous territory with respect to the environmental conditions to the south. We still have the instability, the wind shear, and we could have a tornado right there near Wetumpka that may be trying to form. This is a severe storm right now, but we're still in a tornado watch, and And if that continues to the north and it starts to circulate, that could end up tracking towards places like Alexander City and Dadeville, quite possibly into the southeast corner of Coosa County. If we do see that produce a tornado, some strong winds though showing up, about to move into Ashland. Right there, a little bowing segment there. Let's plot some winds. There's Waldo. And you mentioned Winterboro, JP, and the school out here at Winterboro.
Yeah.
That's going to be on the left side of this. Let me see where we're at here. There's Ashland. So yeah, that's back over to Talladega County. So this is now past Talladega. So this is now more along Highway 77. There's Chandler Springs, Ashland, Millerville, Lineville. It's mostly straight line winds we're concerned about. See how those lining up right there. Some winds that could be gusting over 60 miles per hour and about to approach Ashland. So power outages, trees down. That's going to be a concern as these move on to the east direction. And this will eventually end up into parts of Randolph County. It looks like Cleburne County, also Heflin, still under a severe thunderstorm warning over to the state line. So it looks like over towards Millerville around 10-12, High Pine around 10-12 as well. Some first alert times for the possibility of damaging winds, severe thunderstorm damaging winds over Clay County. Campbell's Crossroads around 10-13. There's Carmill, Ashland, Lineville. This is almost on top of you. Seems like so far, JP, I mean, this has crossed the river. Seems like it's trying to behave. Let's go back in closer right there. Wetumpka, that was an area, we've seen some tornadoes move through that part of the country. I remember a few years ago when we went down and we had the tornado. It stayed just south, but this is, there's some circulation right around Lightwood. You see the red to green. That's what we got to watch as that continues to the north to see if that does tighten up some and become more pronounced as that moves towards Equality. I mentioned Nicksburg a few moments ago, southeastern part of Coosa County, moving in that direction right there. Alexander City, let's just keep an eye on this and see how it performs. Rockford, this is going to stay south of you. We already have some heavier rain falling in that area, so we had the signature north of town here in Rockford. Looks like we have now south of us in the Rockford area. Now to the north, I was mentioning if you are in a safe place, community shelter, listening in anywhere around Stewartville, south of Sylacauga, we're seeing a severe thunderstorm warning. You may just want to stay put. It's raining heavily before you get back out on the road. But it should pass through here fairly quickly. Strong winds, heavy rainfalls. JP was showing, look at the rainfall totals here, past 6 hours. It has absolutely poured across Chilton County, close to 5 inches rainfall estimates, 6-hour totals. So flash flooding, we haven't seen rain like that all year, at least in short duration. So that's some heavy rainfall, and that's because of those intense storms that have moved through into Coosa County. So this is far southeastern part of Coosa County. Big picture, most of the area, we are out of the severe threat. It has ended for most of the area. Right now, if you are in Clay County, very far southeastern Talladega County and into Coosa County, that's where we still have some severe thunderstorm warnings that are active at this time, and we're monitoring just in case these suddenly go to a tornado warning. We have seen that. You remember the night, JP, April 27th, we had one of the biggest tornadoes of the entire event actually happened overnight and moved across Lake Martin. It was one of the only EF5s of the night.
Oh, the Dadeville storm.
Yeah, the Dadeville storm.
Yep.
And that one, you know, it was talked about, the one that moved through Tuscaloosa, moved through Birmingham, and then the one, of course, Hackleburg, that was a big tornado on that night. And it just, we've talked about April 27th so much this week, but every time late at night, you know, when I see this area down in here, I know it's been a long day. We've been tracking storms all day. It's late at night, but just because it's late at night does not mean it's cooled off down here. It is still very unstable, just as bad as it was earlier today when we were getting, you know, ready for severe weather in the western part of the state. So I know for some of you, if you've been with us, it's been a long night, you've been watching this just gradually work its way into the southeast part of the coverage area. Just know we understand still how very primed in this atmosphere is, and that's why we're not going to head back to programming until we get this out of here. This is one of those rare days where, again, everything lines up to support severe weather. And when you do have the supercell storms that start to rotate, you end up with most of what we saw confirmed tornadoes, unfortunately, with a lot of these storms. So listen, a lot of rain has fallen in some of these areas to the south. I think the rain is going to move out. I don't think this is going to stall and end up being a major flash flood concern or lingering issue past midnight tonight. It looks as though, even though we have had some heavy rain, it's already tapered off in the parts of Chilton County. I know we had some flood watches earlier. We're going to have some incredible weather coming up tomorrow. I know one thing we haven't talked about a lot of is the forecast, but once we get past this system, it was looking like next week there would be a system that comes in around Wednesday night and into Thursday, and it may bring us some rainfall. As far as severe weather, though, not seeing a threat, anything like what we're dealing with here tonight with some of these storms that have moved through the state of Alabama. I think next week we'll have time to catch a break in all this active weather. Let's see, just to let you know, the next chance that we're going to have for rain comes in maybe Wednesday night and a Thursday. And it looks like next weekend we could see some rain on Saturday. As far as the severe weather threat goes for next weekend, with any rain or storms, I'm not seeing an organized severe weather risk at this time. But it's March, it's spring, and just as a comparison, we've said this earlier with the high risk that we had today. The last time we had that level of risk was back in 2021. So it's been years since we had this sort of threat level, and hopefully this is the last we see for quite some time, JP.
Yeah.
But it looks like this one may behave off to the south.
Yeah, I'm keeping my fingers crossed there. And of course, keep watching closely if you're in Alexander City, anywhere around Lake Martin. This could spin up, ramp up a little bit. There's going to be some higher winds at the very least associated with this as it moves off to the northeast. But overall, things are behaving pretty well right now.
Oh, stand by, Jay. I'm getting a picture in now from Winterboro. Work to get that. You had mentioned, I think I see
Is the school bus in the high school?
Yeah, it looks like, I'm not seeing it on the standby here. Let's see if I can pull that up.
This is some of the heaviest rain that I have seen in a long time. I mean, you're looking at a path there of 4.5, 5 inches of rain across much of the state. If we look at that right now, look at that. Look at that. That's the 6-hour rainfall totals.
This year, we haven't seen that kind of swath of heavy rain this year. That's the first time.
There you go.
So there you go. It's not on the school. It looks like it's, wow, that is some major damage there at Winterboro High School. I just want to make sure I credit the source here. So no source needed. Okay, so I just want to make sure. Just double check, but wow. This is more damage coming in. This is at Winterboro. This is in Talladega County. We saw the debris that was lofted. Lauren, it was thousands of feet. We saw with that. So if you were upstream from this, what happens many times when we do see debris that is lofted, it can travel for several miles before it falls back to the surface. So if you do tomorrow, notice in some of these areas where we have debris that we find and pieces of insulation. I never will forget one time there was a tornado that moved through Hale County and we couldn't figure out where pieces of insulation were coming from. We were in South Tuscaloosa and noticed on some of the roadways, and it was from a tornado that touched down in Akron. But it lofted that debris.
Yeah.
Well, you remember when we were here and we had the debris that was falling here from storms in Tuscaloosa.
That's right.
It's incredible with the radar technology that we can, it's like having a virtual spotter, but you can see again, these storms are very real. We cannot take these high risk for severe weather lightly, I should say. It's been a long day. So if I do, as someone said, I said I-22 in Chilton County earlier. I meant to say Highway 22. So I apologize. We have been sitting here tracking severe weather, and not only that, we've been watching this. We have been watching models with one eye open since Monday. I mean, this has been a lot of these severe weather parameters. When you see things like EHI, we've talked about in Weather Extra, that show the shear, the instability, just every recipe to make the case cake was on the table for today. And all of what we have seen, while we have seen tornadoes, confirmed tornadoes in several areas, we have had a lot more rain that has really saved us in a lot of other locations and helped to end that threat and really cut it off there for some places around the area. But unfortunately for some of us, Lauren and JP, we've had some areas that have been heavily impacted.
And that's the way it is a lot of times on these severe weather days. You get many areas that have very little impact or no impact, and then you get a few where we have significant impacts. And that's what we're dealing with tonight with this. But it is amazing. You go back and you look at numerical weather prediction, and days in advance, the focus was on today for the ingredients for tornadoes. And here you go. We have tornadoes, not only radar indicated tornadoes, but these are confirmed tornadoes. These are tornadoes with damage. So technology's come a long way.
It really has.
30 years ago when I started this, it was not quite as easy.
I mean, can you imagine today? Just finding out, hey, we have a threat for EF4, EF5 kind of tornadoes this afternoon, trying to scramble, get ready for something like that. We've had time to plan around this and watch this for several days, and the threat is coming to an end, and hopefully we will not see this level of threat for quite some time again. But it's just we always say it's a matter of time. You know these events are going to pop up. And speaking of pop up, looks like another severe thunderstorm warning has popped up in Anniston. So not so fast.
It's the extension over into Cleburne County.
Okay.
So that includes Heflin.
So we still have some heavy rain. Pell City, this is over for us. Lincoln, out around the Honda plant, the threat is over for us as well. Ohatchee. I know Ohatchee's a name we brought up. A lot of folks, we've been nervous there around Ohatchee, seeing that last system like this was when we had those storms move through. But we're all safe right now. It's just a lot of rain, a lot of rain around Jacksonville, and even for Anniston, just some strong winds in here where we have the severe thunderstorm. The warning has been dropped for northern Coosa County. Sylacauga, that heavier rain is now moving away. It's moving onto the east direction. We're all clear. And Birmingham, back to Shelby County, back into Bibb County. The severe weather threat has ended for us at this time. So get some rest out there. It's 10:17 at night. We're getting closer and closer to 11 o'clock, and it looks like timing-wise, I think by 11, we'll be able to clear all of our counties here, hopefully, very, very soon.
Yeah, and we're working on maybe getting some of those live reports of damage where we have seen that. And there's been quite a bit of it in Walker County. We saw that around Sipsey area. We had around Gordo, we had damage. Of course, Calera, significant damage there around Walmart and several neighborhoods around that Walmart in Calera. So Winterboro, getting some of those pictures in. So eagerly awaiting some of those reports from some of those locations on what is actually, what we call ground truth anyway. We know there's damage there, and the radar indicated it, but we'd like to see, the pictures now.
Go to this storm
Yes, sir.
here south of Anniston. I want to see this. That looks a little suspicious to me right here. Might need to take the warning polygon off. So it looks like we do have some very strong winds right in this area, JP. We might be seeing some of that instability sort of getting funneled in, channeled back to the north. This is doing sort of what we saw earlier. You see right there, south of Oxford. So let's keep an eye on this. That's right around Highway 21, south of Chehaw Acres. Seeing some stronger indications. Oxford, Anniston to Oxford here. Still not quite out of the woods on this.
It looks pretty uniform at this point.
Some strong winds, definitely.
Yeah, it's windy. It's very windy. If we go over to shear rate, really not a lot there on our base velocity, but this would be, I think you could be looking at 50 or 60 mile per hour straight line winds, a possibility through here. Maybe not constant, but definitely the possibility of some gusts.
We know the airport's right there, so we should have a good observation.
Let's switch over.
Yeah, let's switch over and check the observation there from the airport. So 30 mile per hour wind. That was the last observation, so we'll see how that performs. Well, it's 46-mile-per-hour wind down at Ashland. That's the wind out of the south. That's before the storms even get there. So we're looking at winds 40, 50 miles per hour. Still kind of breezy back to the west. The severe weather threat has ended. You can see actually the wind shift. It's now, here's the front. There's Clanton. Notice how the wind's changing direction. So this has almost cleared the eastern part of the state. Most significant rain, most significant storms at the moment pushing through Anniston, pushing in towards Cleburne County. Here's a closer view. There's Cheaha Acres, but right there, that Boeing segment moving out of Talladega County, this is going to move right over Mount Cheaha. We're going to have some strong winds, especially at those higher elevations right there around Mount Cheaha. Some powerful winds. So Anniston and Oxford, this is still a very potent storm just south of I-20. And Lauren, be on standby because what we're going to do is
You guys got anybody to go to?
if we can, okay, so JP's mic was still up in the back. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to WBRC, our late news. We're going to kick that off here very soon. So Lauren is on standby because we have a lot of reports to bring to you tonight after this first alert weather day as it's coming to a close. But if you're in Heflin, strong indications out here. This is the kind of setup. Lauren, what's the distance here? This little band, you're looking at a swath, an area, several miles. You go from Oxford, you're looking at about 10 to 15 miles. We could be looking at damaging winds moving into northern Clay County. JP, do you have something you need to add?
Yeah, we've got some reporters standing by with those damage pictures, so we're going to get into the newscast and then do those updates.
All right, so listen, what we're going to do right now is we're going to continue our coverage, but we're going to begin right now with, we're going to go to a break, and then we're going to come back to our late news because we are going to be continuing to track these severe storms. We don't have a tornado warning, but we'll stay with you right here. We'll be right back after this break with reports on WBRC 6 News.
We're going to find your reporter, Jillian Brooks. She's joining us now live. So, Jillian, what are you seeing there in Calera?
Hey Lauren, like you mentioned, we are here in Calera where we are at the scene of a mobile home that was just absolutely destroyed by a possible tornado that came through this area. Now, I just spoke with the homeowners here. It's a man and his daughter live here, and what we're seeing here is the contents of this gentleman's bedroom just literally scattered across the way here. Now, this is somebody's home, everyone. Like they mentioned that they had somewhere to go. They waited until they got the warning. They got to somebody's house. They were in the basement, and they said if they timed it right, that they got to that basement right when that tornado would have hit their home. Now, there were a few pets in the home. They were able to retrieve a cat, a dog, and there's another cat that they believe is around here somewhere. So again, this is why you take those watches and those warnings very seriously. Again, this is some significant damage. Some other mobile homes in the area, we can see some windows blown off, some roofs blown off, but definitely nothing to the extent of this. So definitely seeing some damage. Other areas in Calera, we've seen some downed power lines, certainly some downed trees, a lot of awnings. We heard that Calera Intermediate School, we walked over there because we did hear that there were some damage reports there. It sounds like it was the fence and an awning, so definitely a lot of damage. Not a lot of power as well, a lot of street lights out, a lot of businesses out. So if you're driving through this area, just take a lot of extra precaution as you're driving through. You're gonna wanna go slow. Definitely check on your loved ones that live over in this area, but we're gonna continue to keep an eye out here. I know there's plenty of other folks here around the county that are watching out for some of this damage around here. So continue with us and we'll bring you all of the latest updates. But for now, your reporter live in Calera, I'm Jillian Brooks with WBRC 6 News on your side.
All right, Jillian, thanks for staying on top of that. We've been getting a lot of reports of damage all around Calera. We know a lot of you in Shelby County were sheltering there at Calera Intermediate School today. Your reporter Rajane Robinson was at that shelter earlier where she caught up with Police Chief David Hyde. He said he anticipates having a lot of help with cleanup in the next coming days.
I want to point that out, that the boundaries really don't matter. And there are a lot of police officers and firefighters that live here in Calera, and they are out of Calera now in their jurisdictions where they work, helping to make people safe and watch over them.
Of course, as you just saw from our reporter in the field, Jillian Brooks, we're following reports tonight of possible tornado damage in Calera. So all of that help, of course, very much appreciated. Wes.
Tracking some severe weather across West Alabama. This is, JP, that you were right. This is that report that we were seeing of the bus. This was at Winterboro High School. Vanessa Tumberland sharing this image with us. That's just one of the photos. Let's take another image here. This is another school bus, if not the same one, but this is right there at Winterboro High School as well. So this is what we're seeing. Can you imagine the types of wind energy it took to lift that school bus like that? We've had some intense storms out there tonight, and we're still dealing with some powerful winds. I want to get back to First Alert AccuTrack meteorologist Lauren Linehan on standby, as well as meteorologist JP Dice. We've all been here with you throughout the day, closely monitoring this line of storms that's almost out of the area. Now, most of us, we could get some rest tonight. As you can see, it's just rain that's still falling. As Jillian was talking about, that a lot of that rain down into Shelby County, the lightning, at least that threat is going to move on through. Still seeing some lightning around Jemison. So for first response happening in parts of Calera, that lightning and heavier rainfall there, it looks like it's just south of town. But the most intense part of this line, interestingly, it looks like it ramped up again, a little bow echo that's right around Anniston. That's moving towards Heflin. We could have some damaging winds in here. I would say, JP, I want to go to you because you were timing this out. It looks like at least another 30 more minutes before we can clear some of these counties away.
Let's go ahead and do that right now.
Yeah, go ahead and put some times on that for us.
And that's moving about 50 miles per hour or so. Looks like Heflin at 10:31. This is going to be clearing Anniston fairly quickly. Mount Moriah 10:31. This is going to be in the Lineville area. we're talking maybe in about 10 minutes or so. So that is a fast-moving line. It's not tornadic, but we are expecting winds out of this in excess of 50 miles per hour and some incredibly intense rain as this continues to push off to the east and west. One other thing that we are watching, right now we have no tornado warnings. It's severe thunderstorm warnings, but I do want to mention this. We have watched this area right here. This is going to be tracking very close to Tallapoosa County, and we have just a little bit of rotation there. There's no National Weather Service warning on that, so we're just kind of keeping our eye on it. We've been watching for a while. This is tracking to the north of Wetumpka and could make its way up toward the Dadeville area and Lake Martin over the next 30 minutes or so. So that's really the most suspicious cell that we're currently watching. Incredibly heavy rain. We'll give you the big picture out there. Of course, areas west of Interstate 65 looking much better out there. This is largely an issue with East Alabama at this hour. Wes?
All right, and Lauren, I know you're on standby as well. What are you seeing as far as rainfall? Because we're talking about this is some of the most intense rain that we have seen so far this year, over 4 inches already in some areas.
And hey, honestly, we need this rainfall.
Right.
I was seeing some folks saying on Facebook, mention how good this is for our crops, which certainly it is. But of course, we don't want to see flash flooding. We want to have the rain spread out, not all in a very short period of time, because that's where you can get flash flooding. Where you see the blue polygons here on the map, that's indicating where we have flash flood warnings in place. But this is giving us an idea of, since these storms have started, how much rainfall have we seen? Well, you can see along this swath here that developed where you're seeing those yellows and oranges showing up there. Potentially an estimated 4 inches of rainfall stretching from Demopolis to Marion, around Clanton, Jemison, over towards Ashland and Talladega. And then notice there is this swath as well, really right along the I-20-59 corridor, where the rain was much lighter. So it's almost like we had two main bands setting up here. 2 to 3 inches of rainfall estimated, stretching from areas like Pickens County up towards Walker, Tuscaloosa County, Coleman County. You can see there actually is a flash flood warning in effect for Coleman County as well, stretching along that I-65 corridor. So obviously we don't want anyone out driving tonight because of the tornado threat that we've seen, but we also have to think about a secondary threat for flash flooding. So your yards are probably going to be pretty soggy. Areas like Birmingham, Gardendale really kind of didn't bear the brunt of any of the issues today. So just some fairly light rain stretching all the way up towards Gadsden. But this rain that we're going to continue to see in our counties to the south and east is going to continue here at least for the next hour or so. We kept talking about how midnight tonight was kind of going to be that cutoff time for any impact. So hopefully we'll begin to see the rain winding down. I will say, if we're trying to find a positive on anything, we have been seeing some pollen that has been developing. So where we're seeing this heavy rain, that should wash away the pollen for at least a day or so. So trying to look for those positives, but certainly thinking of folks who have been impacted by the storms tonight. But we're going to be continuing to track the storms like that one JP was mentioning, where we're beginning to see some broad rotation potentially approaching Tallapoosa County. We'll continue to keep you updated. Lauren?
All right, Lauren, thanks. And in Pickens County, we're tracking damage in the town of Gordo. You can see a large tree here on your screen. It fell on a house there. Tons of other trees blocking the road there this afternoon. Your reporter, Taylor Pollock, is live in Gordo tonight. So, Taylor, where are you? What are you seeing out there?
Well, you guys just missed it. We've been out on County Road 16 where linemen have been working for hours, working to clear the roadways. Gordo, this community saw a very powerful storm hours ago that damaged at least 2 houses and a chicken farm, and of course, just snapped countless trees in half. We've seen so many pictures of that devastation. But the good news is no one was hurt. But Gordo, obviously, there is a long way to go in cleaning up, again, that devastation that was left behind. Right now, we're working to bring you updates after today's powerful storm. So be sure to stick with WBRC News for the very latest. Your breaking news reporter in Gordo, Taylor Pollock, WBRC 6 News, on your side.
All right, Taylor, thanks. And covering Walker County tonight, neighbors on Sipsey Road in the town of Sipsey are cleaning up tonight after they say a tornado ripped through their neighborhood. Just take a look at some of that damage our crew saw this afternoon. Walker County Sheriff Nick Smith says homes there are damaged, multiple trees and power lines are down. And our crews talked with one man who experienced damage to his roof, his shed, and even had water leaking into his kitchen today.
I don't think there's no words for it, you know, because we just got through remodeling the house. Now it's sitting here tore all to heck. So just pay attention to the warnings is all I can tell you. When they say take cover, look around you. You better take cover.
Another damage is going to be a lot of trees down. I think a trailer was severely damaged down toward the latter part of Sipsey Road.
All right, and it seems like we have an update. We're going to go right to Wes Wyatt with that update we have on the weather right now.
Yeah, Lauren, another tornado warnings coming right now for southern Coosa County, so we need to go back to this. This is just what... And Tallapoosa County. Okay, so Coosa and Tallapoosa. This is clipping the southeast part of the area, so we're going to get back to our reports that we have in the field there momentarily, but just stay with us here. Again, this is the same area we were telling you about. It's crossing around Nicksburg, moving around Equality. This is moving into the far southeast part of Coosa County. This is now, it's almost into Tallapoosa County. Kellington, you're north of this, but there could be some damage in here. Another tornado, it's in the forming stage at this time, and it's just continue to ramp up in the last few skins. You can see it's now on a track to reach Andrew Jackson, Greenbrier, Lake Hill Estates, Easton, and the Denver community. Now, this is Tallapoosa County, but at this hour of the night, we need folks down here to get this warning. A lot of you watch us on stream. I hear from a lot of you. I want to make sure that for those that are listening on the radio, maybe iHeartMedia or tuning in via our streaming platforms, that you get the first alert that we are seeing, based on with a lot of these storms tonight, we have had some significant tornadoes based on the type of damage we have seen. But some powerful winds at the least crossing into Tallapoosa County around Fish Pond and moving towards Greenbrier. Now, what is the warning? That is 11:30 on that. It will not last all the way until 11:30 for Coosa County. Again, if you're around Cottage Grove, looks like it's now past you. Lauren's picking this up. Lauren, is this Maxwell that we're looking at? So we're looking through Montgomery. So we looked at it from Birmingham and Montgomery, and both show this closely approaching the county line of Coosa and Tallapoosa County. We do have some severe storms also happening further north. Now, this is a tornado warning. It's radar indicated. It's not confirmed at the moment, but these are severe thunderstorm warnings. Some very strong winds that we've been tracking from Anniston to Ashland. Look at how the winds are lining up in here. Some gusts over 40 miles per hour, some intense lightning. Heflin, that gust front is moving in right around Heflin, the leading edge of those strong winds right through there. You can almost see in the wind data where it's picking up the leading edge of that gust front. Those winds, if we query some of this, it may show us, just give us a sort of an idea of some of the wind speed. This is around Chuffaline and also Belltown. Heflin, 50 mile per hour. 54 mile per hour, so 68 mile per hour wind there. So these winds are gusting high enough. We're going to have some tree and power line damage and possibly even some structural damage, minor structural damage, as these powerful winds continue to the east. Stay put until those pass. Powerful winds, that's mostly severe storms. Here's the tornado. Broader look here, really, there you go, some really curvature showing up to that, really starting to tighten up now around the county line. So as this moves into Tallapoosa County, here's Lake Martin. So the northern shores of Lake Martin, this is about to approach Lake Martin, Piney Point. There is Sturtevant. We were talking about with the last event, that same area here, another storm is crossing, but this one's staying just south of Kellington, and it's just south of Highway 22 there in Coosa County. So staying south of Highway 22, south, it's Alexander City right here. This is approaching Alexander City from the south. We'll go in really, really close. It looks like Lake Martin and passing between Lake Martin and Alexander City, 10:46 p.m. That's the time of arrival on this. So a first alert for another tornado warning. Here it comes as it ramps up. Let's watch this closely to see if we perhaps have another debris signature with this. And it's really to the south and east. There's really not not a whole lot of rain that's been happening there throughout the evening, so we still have a lot of this instability down in the far southeast part of the area, and that's what's keeping a lot of this, maintaining a lot of this for tonight. If you are in, I mentioned Fish Pond a few moments ago, that's Highway 259. So if you live along Highway 259 and you're hearing this alert right now, that would be around Newman Road. That would be also around 259 Double Bridges Park. So Double Bridges Park and Highway 63 over to Highway 259. Anywhere in that region, everyone, I can't stress enough, could have a developing tornado right now. Get to that safe place. We'll let you know once this warning passes. Right now, we're about to be able to see most of this move out of Coosa County, but this is more into Tallapoosa County. But we're zoomed in really close. Another tornado approaching to the south. There is Valley View. Alexander City's at the top of the screen. So Alexander City, this is moving in from the south direction, moving in towards Lake Martin. We could have another violent tornado that is coming together here at this late night hour here at 10:40. This is the only tornado warning, and this will be the last tornado warning that we have for our coverage area once we do see this trimmed away. This is not confirmed just yet, but it seems as though this has been gradually ramping up over the past several scans, so it's continuing to trend in that direction where it may produce a tornado. But some strong winds. You can see the strongest of the winds now have mostly crossed over. Here's the county line right here. So most of this is out of, some of those stronger winds have shifted out of Coosa County. So this is around Newman Road. Highway 63, this is moving your way. So from our town north to Alexander City along Highway 63, it's about to cross at Elkahatchee Heights, Elkahatchee Park, and Wind Creek State Park. It looks like Wind Creek, it may stay just north there. So from Wind Creek over towards Ray, and it looks like also Jackson's Gap. It'll be close there around Jackson's Gap's back in here as well. There's Jackson's Gap on the screen. So it may track more in this direction, but it's still sort of, it seems like, Lauren, it wants to produce a tornado here, but it seems like it's staying it's maintaining this level. We've seen that a couple times with some of the scans. It's more broad as far as the circulation goes. Go to shear rate. Let's see what that looks like, and we'll kind of scan into that data. And yeah, we see strong rotation. We're not seeing the extreme, however, that we were seeing earlier. And we'll watch to see if we do see an uptrend to that level. But a lot of folks out here around Lake Martin tonight need to be in their tornado shelter and just wait on this to pass. At the least, there's certainly going to be some strong winds. And you get around the lake out here, too, with that flat surface. Those straight line winds can really get going across that lake water, and you end up with a lot of straight line wind damage. We saw that around the Cropwell area, which I believe we actually had a tornado with one of those last systems that moved throughout around Logan Martin earlier this year. Mount Zion, that's showing up on the map. I mentioned our town. Again, that's crossing right there around 63. State Highway 63, there's the tornado. That's the circulation that's coming together, if we have one, right around our town, between our town and Alexander City. Now, I know that most of this has now crossed out of Coosa County. This is now more of a Tallapoosa County. This is in the Montgomery market, and I know a lot of you, our sister station WSFA in Montgomery also covers this area closely, but as it is still a very intense storm given the history of what we've seen today, we do want to stay with this for a little while because we do know a lot of you are tuned in and continue to watch WBRC, so we want to make sure that we stay on top of this and give you the first alert and let you know what's happening with this particular storm. I do not expect the storm to the north around Anniston that we were looking at. That will not do this. It's going to stay most likely straight line winds and heavy rainfall. It's the storm here to the south. But there you go. Looks like right around Spoke Road, or Speaks Road, it's continuing to cycle and strengthen, and that looks like Piney Point arrival time around 10:51. Looks like Greenbrier around 10:51. This is moving towards Jackson's Gap. So Jackson's Gap, We need to share the message. If you are in Jackson's Gap, we have a possible tornado developing and approaching that area right now, giving you the first alert as this tracks to the northeast direction around Jackson's Gap, Greenbrier, and also Piney Point. This is moving to the northeast. This is in Tallapoosa County, Lake Hill Estates, and Point South. All of us need to be in our shelter. We'll let you know once this passes. Coosa County, this is now this is out of the county. You're in good shape. The danger has passed that southeast part of the county and now moving more into south of Alexander City. So let's go to big picture one more time, and even a lot of the rain has started to come to an end across our area. Back edge of the rain's now pushing from near Gadsden back through Pell City. Even the rumbles have mostly ended for Shelby County. You can see Chilton County as well. Back edge of the rain's now made it to Maplesville, and all of these storms are now crossing over. I see several severe thunderstorm warnings now pushing in towards the Atlanta area. Is that a shear marker? So I believe we do have a shear marker. So this has greatly ramped up.
From the Birmingham.
Okay, so that's from the Birmingham site.
But looks like we still,
Yeah, we got some rotation going on with that.
yeah, we have still a shear marker.
So we're looking through a lot of precipitation,
yeah.
from that direction, and then we look at it from the south, and both are telling us that clearly we have a circulation going on here. So at any moment, this could be producing a tornado. It could be brief. It may continue for a while. So if you are anywhere in Tallapoosa County, stay with this until this passes. It's going to be through here by midnight. We'll have all this part of the area should be cleared out by midnight. I mean, this has been, it's been a slow go, I know, throughout the day and tonight. But once we get this out of the area, you can see how it has shifted now. And there's the circulation that is around Greenbrier, moving towards Eagle Creek. There's Easton, there's Everglades. So again, just letting you know, this is a radar indicated tornado warning that is moving towards Jackson's Gap. Very strong. It's continuing to intensify, Lauren, based on the latest scan. I mean, you see there's Alexander City is passing just to the south of us here in Alexander City. There's Dobbs, Alexander City. This is staying just south. Greenbrier, Eagle Creek. Stay in your safe place. If you're along 63, it's about to cross, and then we'll be out of the danger. It's about to cross 63 now, pushing in towards Greenbrier. Are you seeing any spotter reports on this? Any indications that we've had damage from this?
I'm not, but I am seeing that the National Weather Service is noting that it looks like there's tornado genesis could be approaching Jackson's Gap. So, I mean, right along that 280 corridor in Tallapoosa County from Lake Hill Estates to Jackson's Gap, you need to be in your safe place, because if we look at our estimated time of arrival, I mean, this is coming in within less than 5 minutes. And it does seem that it's strengthening as it's pushing to the northeast.
Yeah, I don't like the look of this one. I mean, again, this is starting to intensify. It's going through. You can clearly tell it that when you really start to see the reds and the greens kind of wrap in like that, and plus our system, that's what's producing this ring that pops up on our first alert AccuTrack. When we see those signals strong enough to where this could be tornadoing, producing a tornado, that will pop up from time to time. So we could be seeing this right now, producing a tornado, and if we do see a debris signature, that will come after the fact. But that would let us know if we did have one touchdown. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Listen, Greenbrier, Jacksonville Gap, if you're listening to me, you're in your storm shelter right now, listening in, just hold on a minute here. We're going to let this get through here, and I'll let you know it, and hopefully this gets through with very little impact. But this is a dangerous storm right now. It's around River Bend, and it's going to be crossing here around Highway 280. So Highway 280, River Bend, this has passed south of Alexander City. But a lot of folks here around the Lake Martin area, and I know a lot of folks here locally that visit Lake Martin quite frequently. So this is, we travel this region quite often, and we know that we've had a lot of storms move through here, and especially late at night, 10:48, close to 11 o'clock. Want folks to certainly have the first alert and have plenty of notification as this moves further east and south of our area. So there's Greenbrier, Piney Point. There it is right there, and the latest scan is almost to 280. This has now passed Mount Zion. This is mostly Lake Hill Estates back to Jackson's Gap, so this is what the Weather Service was talking about We might see this coming together. It's close. It's right in this area. So Lake Hill Estates back towards Jackson's Gap. There's Eagle Creek in the path of this as well. So stay in your tornado shelter. Hopefully soon here Jackson's Gap we can sound the all clear. Greenbrier to Jackson's Gap being impacted by what may be a tornado happening at the moment. That warning is, it looks like in the southeast Alabama. Now this is south of our coverage area, but another tornado warning has been issued for central Pike County. Just to let you know, if you want to help spread the word, help share, that is until 11:45 tonight. So another tornado warning down into South Alabama, down to Pike County. Looked like there was a severe thunderstorm over Glenwood near Goshen moving northeast at 55 miles per hour. Again, that's down in the Troy area. Locations, this will move actually towards Troy Airport, Troy University. So down in that part of the state also dealing with tornado warnings at this time. So that's down towards Troy. Right now we have a tornado warning. But a clear indication on a night like this, a level 5 out of 5 risk, and we still had even the level 4 moderate risk for areas further east. Still a very primed in environment for tornadoes on a night like this, and you can see the winds, even though far from the radar site. We've been sharing some of these estimates. Now this is winds off the ground, but the markers there in the velocity data showing 67 miles per hour. Definitely some potent winds with this storm as it now has crossed. There it goes. It's crossing right here around Greenbrier. If we have a tornado, it would be right in here. That is really tightening up right over Highway 82. Lauren is circling there on the screen. There's Jackson's Gap. Here's Eagle Creek. So this is tracking right towards Eagle Creek. A first alert from new site to Eagle Creek. Stay in your safe place. There's Highway 49. Highway 49, 280, it's crossing at the moment. If you're in Alexander City, the threat has passed you, okay? It's passing. Here's Alexander City. It's passing to the south. So it's really coming together. These winds are really ramping in. You'd be surprised with tornadoes or storms that are about to produce a tornado. You'll notice even far north and far to the south, these winds are racing into this mesocyclone. You can really tell out there before one of these storms produces a tornado. You'll see a lot of frequent lightning, very, very gusty winds. You can just tell the winds really pick up out ahead of these storms out of the south like no other. I mean, it's just, I remember the night Fultondale happened and we just had those very intense winds. Here on Red Mountain, you could just tell that this storm was about to produce something, and that's what's going on here tonight with a lot of these, and that's what you see. The red are the winds that are actually moving away from the radar. The green, those are the winds that are moving towards the radar site. The radar site's down in Montgomery, so these winds are moving in this direction, and these winds are moving away from Montgomery, so that's why we see the correlations, but it's all spiraling in. Look at that right there of where that tornado would be. That's right around Greenbrier, and that's crossing. It's 10:52, and the radar still indicating that we could have a tornado. No debris signature, however. So it looks.
Except there's a TDS.
So we do have a TDS.
Yes, I'm just not seeing it on our.
Actually, back the view out a little bit. Is that it to the north? It's maybe.
Well, maybe.
Let's loop back and let's take a look at
Okay.
it may have. So here,
Maybe
so there it was right there. Yeah, so there was some debris.
What?
Looks like we might.
What is that?
Looks like we might have had. Could it?
Let me see.
Since we're looking at it, you know, sometimes what you can have with the radar, since we're looking at it from so far away, sometimes the precipitation from some of what the icons are showing here, the actual radar, it might be displaced a little bit, and even for some of that debris, it can drift further away from where the tornado touched down. I don't think that was actually. I think
it looks very briefly.
Yeah, looks like that's it right there, south of Alexander City. That's closer to where we're seeing the circulation center. But we've had high winds out there, so
Yeah, it looks like it was there for a second,
there it is.
but now, well, there it is, right there. There we go.
Oh,
Clear this off the screen.
so it has popped up. So there we go.
Abbott Drive.
So it just touched down. Just touched down. Tallapoosa County This has just crossed Highway 280, and now that we were just waiting, we sadly, you know, it touched down. We were watching it closely as it moved through. It still may be on the ground here. Rock Springs Road, tornado now moving towards Church Road, and was it Eagle? What did we say? Eagle Point there, or Eagle Creek, I should say. Eagle Creek. It's tracking in your direction. So Eagle Creek, possible tornado moving. Well, we know it. There could be a tornado right now. We have had indication here with a debris signature. This is Tallapoosa County, Rock Springs Road, moving northeast at 70 miles per hour. BTI has ramped up about a 6.9. 80, is that 60? Basically high percentage. We've got some hail with this, some damaging hail with this storm as well. Move the times over just a bit, Lauren. I see it's 10:54, and here's some first alert times. Sessions around 10:58, New Site around 11:01 p.m., Everglade around 11:03 p.m. There's Church Road. Here's the tornadoes moving towards Rock Springs Road. Rock Springs Road, stay put. Hopefully this will weaken, but we're still detecting a tornado. We're detecting a debris signature that is moving. That is Shack Creek Road as well. And this is over Tallapoosa County. Another confirmed tornado, radar indicated, tracking to the north and east. This is the only tornado warning that we have. Have the warnings expired, Lauren, for Calhoun County?
We've still got severe thunderstorm. It looks like for Calhoun County we're good, but still severe thunderstorm warnings for Cleburne, Clay, and over into Randolph County.
Okay, so since, well, we still have a tornado warning. Let's stay with this here over Tallapoosa County here for a while longer. Let's see, what's the time on this?
Until 11:30.
Until 11:30, so we're approaching 11 o'clock. We have teams on standby here with a lot of information that we want to bring to you. And let's just stay with this here just a bit longer because we do have a debris signature. And folks, I want to make sure everyone around Eagle Creek are getting the alert right now. Church Road, Eagle Creek, Old Springs Road. If you hear me, we could have a confirmed tornado. This has passed Alexander City. That threat is over. Tallapoosa County, the warning is set to expire at 11:30 as this tracks north. Again, this is out of our coverage area, but it's close to 11 o'clock at night, and given the history of some of these storms, we want to make sure folks are getting this warning, receiving the warning in Tallapoosa County as this tracks towards Everglade. That's another community. I see Everglade Road and Everglade, Old Shepherd Road and Church Road there, Eagle Creek, all in the vicinity of where this would be. This is moving very quickly, again, around 53 miles per hour. Looks like 11:10, 11:15, this will be further north. And is that the Tallapoosa River?
I think so.
Yeah,
yes.
so it's about to cross.
Yeah, it's about to cross, looks like it's about to cross Horseshoe Bend Road, which is Highway 49, or not, it may not quite, yeah, it may make a close brush with that. Possibly crossing Shingle Road near Tohopeka, am I pronouncing that correctly? Tohopeka, near there, but it is going to be to the northwest of Eagle Creek. Still, if you're in Eagle Creek, Sessions, Tohopeka, make sure you are in your safe spot, because they have upgraded the tag to the tornado damage threat being considerable.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, I will say too, it looks like we had mentioned, I know we may have folks who have students who go to Troy University down in Pike County, and this is in South Alabama.
And
this is getting closer to the Dothan area and Montgomery area.
And Lauren, are we still on the air? In the back, it looks like, if we can get back to radar. Okay. So here we are again. Lauren was noting this is down into South Alabama. Look at this. Look at this storm. A big hook on this thing, and that was from Maxwell Air Force Base. So that's approaching Troy, Alabama, and a very significant signature on this. Let's go ahead and put some alert times. Yeah. Lauren, go ahead. I know you were talking about this storm. I'll let you.
Yeah, if we could move that lower third from the bottom of the screen so we can have a little bit more space here to show the information. Thank you. So I know we have folks who may have students who go to Troy University. So this is in Pike County, Alabama. And right now, this circulation that we're looking at is near Goshen and Little Oak. This is kind of near the Wiregrass area in southeast Alabama. And so it looks like this is about to be crossing Highway 87 and then possibly moving through Troy. If you see our first alert times here, Meadow Grove at 11 o'clock, Allred at 11:01, Hepzibah at 11:01, Country Club Estates around 11:03, Mossy Grove at 11:03, and I think this will be passing pretty close to Troy. So as this pushes across that Highway 231 corridor, and that I know a lot of folks will take that down to the beach, maybe down to Montgomery, that 231 corridor that moves through Troy, that's where we're seeing that potential for a damaging tornado. So also seeing that potential down there, but we still don't want to let our eyes off of this confirmed tornado warning that is in Tallapoosa County, Wes.
Yeah, that is a considerable tag there. That storm has really ramped up, and you can see the hook signature showing up now. A little inflow notch with this. That is right around Sessions and moving to the north towards Eagle Creek, Everglade. This is staying south of Clay County, and I was noticing our weather watcher and Leanne Blair in Clay County said things much calmer for us finally there. So Clay County, we're seeing the weather starting to settle down for us. But as this pulls away, this is a significant storm, and it's moving in the direction. Notice to the north here, Randolph County, Wedowee. We give you the first alert. Let's keep an eye on this. Another confirmed tornado is moving towards Randolph County, moving in that direction. There's Corinth, Motley, Wadley area, Daviston, and still a very strong debris signature. That's right around Highway 49, about to cross Highway 49. It has crossed Highway 63. It's crossed 280, and now it's continuing to the northeast. Lauren putting some of those first alert times on this. That is a debris signature that is showing up from the radar site. So debris that has been lofted as this tracks northeast. It looks like Simpson, 11:09, time of arrival. Notice these times, 11:01 right now. This will be around Motley at 11:14, Sykesville at around 11:14. Northeast movement at 56 miles per hour, and BTI 4.7 on a scale of 0 to 10. That's just a number, a proprietary number from our Lynx or AccuTrack system, Barron radar product. And typically when we see that number go above a 5, often that's associated with a significant tornado when we see storms like that. So that's just a number we look at, one of our indexes as we evaluate the storms. But the debris signature still showing up with this. Far southeast, this is well south of Birmingham. This is well south of Anniston, and now counties, most of our counties have been trimmed away, it looks like, from that watch over into East Alabama and central areas. So a lot of storms out there tonight. This is okay. We're going to get back to Lauren here in a few moments, but this is now moving away from our coverage area, but it does look like that polygon, that warning, has that been extended? Okay, that's just the cone. We're just showing you some of those first alert times, but it does continue all the way to Daviston on that particular tornado warning polygon. Let's go to velocity one more time, 11:02, and still showing up right here, tornado. That is just north of Eagle Creek. So that's going to pass between Eagle Creek and Simpson, and that is moving towards Daviston. We could have a tornado here tracking towards Randolph County, Wedowee. I know we're not under a warning, but we could have a warning that may be issued for Randolph County. So let's back the view out again for folks at home watching and just show where this is on the big picture. And you can see this is to the far southeast. We have this confirmed tornado warning. Again, this is outside of the WBRC coverage area, but we wanted to give folks in here some first alert on this. Also notice to the south, around Troy, another tornado that's moving off to the northeast. Troy University, folks there being asked to seek shelter as well from the possibility. Notice the hook. It's right over the city of Troy at this time. So we have this storm, and further north, watching that one over Tallapoosa County. We'll continue to update you on these. Again, these are out of our coverage market and now moving more into the Atlanta area as they continue across far east Alabama. At the moment, we do have a lot of teams out there that we want to get to, and we'll come back to this. But right now, I want to throw it over to Lauren with more updates on the storm damage and the recovery happening across the area tonight.
right, Wes. Yeah, thanks for staying on top of all of these warnings. Of course, we want to make sure you at home, all of you are safe. Of course, we're going to check back in about all those damage reports when we get back after the break.
Definitely could, Wes. And I know in Randolph County, I see a lot of people. I saw this when I worked in Columbus, Georgia. I've seen it when I've worked in Birmingham, and I hear it from my friends over Atlanta. They kind of feel like they're in the no man's land in coverage between our area and the Columbus, Georgia market, and then the Atlanta market. So I don't want to sleep on Wadowing. I want to make sure we give you all the proper coverage because some of you do pick us up there. So that's what we're seeing, this confirmed tornado that has been moving through northeast, now Tallapoosa County. That has now been extended, that warning. Now, the confirmed warning has not been extended, but we do have a tornado warning now in place for parts of Randolph County. So if this were to continue tracking to the northeast, this would move across areas like Wadley, Corinth, possibly Wedowee, Dickert, Roanoke, and this is right along Highway 431 where it could be lifting. But right now we're still watching, and it also looks like this would clip the northwestern portion of Chambers County. So if you're watching us in Chambers County as well, if you're somewhere like Lafayette, over towards Denson, Oakland, 5 Points, this will stay to the northwest of you. But if you live in Randolph County, I would definitely be mindful that this storm, this tornado warned storm, which was a confirmed tornado, still confirmed tornado as it's moving through, and we can see it right here on radar about to get close to Highway 22. This is pushing northeast towards areas like Daviston and will soon be moving over into Randolph County. So if this still manages to hold together, yeah, we're still seeing a debris signature on this. So This is right now approaching Highway 22 and is going to be pushing northeast towards Davison. We'll get some first alert times, or at least get some arrival times on this as it's moving northward. So should be moving into Davison around 11:12 p.m. Truett 11:16. Wadley, a first alert for it moving in around 11:19. Possibly moving towards, let's see, Friendship around 11:28. So if you are in Randolph County, still in northeast Tallapoosa County and Davison and Truett, you need to be in that safe place. So those are the main areas we're continuing to watch. I do think within the next hour here, we're soon going to be able to sound the all clear for our area. Now, if you still have friends or family who live in the Chattahoochee Valley, in East Central Alabama, or even folks over into Georgia and the Wiregrass down in Southeast Alabama, they still need to be staying alert because we're still seeing some pretty significant storms moving through. As I mentioned, we have that tornado warning down in Troy. If you have any friends or family or know students down at Troy University, make sure they are hunkering down, because unfortunately we're getting into that part of the night where people are going to sleep. So this is definitely going to be a concern for a nighttime threat as these push over into Georgia. So we'll soon be able to sound the all clear for us. But if you have any loved ones over in Georgia, give them the first alert, be that hero to tell them what's going on as well. But we're going to continue to be tracking this, and I think, who are we going to next? JP, just checking in with JP. Do you have any updates for us as well?
Well, the big picture here is folks can rest easy across much of the viewing area. We're practically finished with the severe weather threat, with the exception of that one storm that you guys have been talking about moving into Randolph County, probably just south of Wedowee. So it's looking a lot better out there. This is the loop over the last 3 or 4 hours, and you can see that severe weather tracking. A lot of the activity has been skewed farther to the south across parts of Chilton County, also in Talladega County, as well as Shelby County, with these storms pushing off toward the east. We still have that one remaining tornado warning in effect for Randolph County. Looking at damage reports today, hardest hit areas: Sipsey, Gordo, Calera, Winterboro area. We had some damage to the school there, and that's what we know at least this point. We may have some more damage reports coming in, but it has been very active day across the entire state of Alabama. Wes?
All right, so right now things settling down for our area. Still watching this storm with a tornado warning moving across Randolph County. Make sure if you're watching from other parts of the state, you can get these alerts. The First Alert weather app will alert wherever you are. So overnight you will continue to receive those alerts on your mobile device. I want to go right now to Lauren as we watch these storms now pull away from the area. They certainly left their mark tonight, Lauren, as all this tracked across the state of Alabama.
All right, Wes, thanks. Our crews have been out all day following reports of damage from multiple counties all across central Alabama. Of course, Calera seeing some of the most significant damage, including at Calera Baptist Church. Your reporter Brady Talbert speaking to the pastor of the church about rebuilding.
Well, the staff here at Calera Baptist are trying to figure out what comes next, and I've got to show you why. Look at this. You see all this debris here on the ground? This is actually coming from the roof up top. You see it right there. And you know, this roof right here is painted black, but right there where you see the insulation falling down, that is actually the sky. It is obviously dark outside. The power is cut off for people's safety. But if it were to see some lightning right now, you would see just the sky, the night sky. I want to walk you over here. You see a lot of insulation on the ground. Because there is this massive hole in the roof, I mean, you see all this water right there on the carpet. The insulation is covering the pews here. Thank goodness no one was here. You see some lightning right there, but that is the roof. I want to walk you over to Pastor Jason. We just pulled up outside and the pastor was here. So Pastor Jason, thank you for your time. You can probably better describe what happened here. What are we dealing with damage-wise?
Well, the majority of the damage is here in the sanctuary, and so we were surprised to pull up in the parking lot and see all the insulation. And so we pulled around the building and realized there was much more damage than what we originally thought. So when we came in and saw the opening in the ceiling, then we checked the rest of the building. And like I said, it seems to be isolated mostly here in the sanctuary.
Yes, sir. And you say no one was hurt, right?
Yes, thank the Lord. There was no one here when the storm came through, and we have contacted our members, and we're continuing to stay in contact with them. And it appears that there was no major damage done to any of their homes, and they're all safe. And so thank the Lord that he brought all of us through this safe, and we can replace the ceiling.
Amen to that. And now the big question is Sunday morning. It's coming up. What are we thinking? What are we planning?
Tomorrow morning at 8:30, we have some people coming to join us for a time of prayer, and then we're going to spend some time just cleaning up a little bit around to see what we really have to work with. We're going to try to be real safe to make sure no one gets in the area where the hole in the roof is, because we don't want anything to fall down on anyone. But we believe this is an opportunity for the church to come together, and we've already had 6 pastors here locally come together and say, let us know what we can do to help. And so it's been a blessing already to see how God's working through other churches.
When you, and Connor, if you don't mind just panning around, I want people to get a better look at all this, but when you heard about the storms that were in our area and you drove out here, were you expecting anything like this? What were you thinking you were about to pull up on?
I was thinking maybe the power would be out. And that was about the extent that that was about the extent to what I was expecting. And so I was really caught off guard to find the damage that was done here.
Is there anything that the community can do to help you guys?
Right now, I would just ask that the community pray. I believe that the damage that has been done to the community, to the businesses, and to some people's homes, I think this is an opportunity for us to come together, to help each other, and to let each other know that you're not alone. And so this is a great opportunity. Thank the Lord that we don't know of anyone who was physically harmed. And so we just praise him for that, and we'll continue on spreading his word and preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ.
You just heard it right there, the leadership here just saying this is a blessing, that no one was hurt and that everything is going to pan out the way that they say God is going to allow it to. So your reporter in Calera, I'm Brady Talbert, WBRC 6 News, on your side.
All right, a final, one more look at this storm that's moving across Tallapoosa County, now moving into Randolph County. Still seeing some signals that we still have a tornado. It was a confirmed tornado, but radar indicated moving towards Wadley. So folks that may be listening in, perhaps following streams south of Wedowee, stay in your safe place until this warning expires. It should be another 30 minutes or so there. Looks like that warning's going until midnight, actually, so just over 30 minutes, and then we'll see that clear the state. Hopefully it may expire before then, but the Weather Service certainly keeping an eye on it. Of course, we've been keeping a watch on a lot of those storms down in the South Alabama. Troy, Alabama, another area right now being heavily impacted. So a big day across the state of Alabama, rare high risk.
Yeah, and some significant damage out there, but also a lot of folks that managed to dodge this one this time. Of course, these high-risk days, we got to pay attention because very seldom do you escape them without any significant damage.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I know Lauren and I will be back here covering it tomorrow night as well.
That's right, and of course we'll have crews covering damage in the morning as well, so our next newscast